So, here we are in Chapter 10. Our check-in at Heathrow Airport on the way to Japan. Unfortunately, without my trusty video camera. Another strange tale of the rock and roll lifestyle, which I should probably share with you. Siobhan, remember her from Real World, had turned up at our band party and bewitched me with her underhand use of a loaded, gyrating arse. How is a man meant to cope? One minute she won't talk to me. The next minute she's sidling up to me backwards and massaging my ever-attentive groin with her delightful little patootie. You can probably guess where this is going. And yes, you'd be right. Like the fool I am, come on, who wouldn't have been? I took her back to my flat, ostensibly because she asked to see my Diva video. And then, yeah, the next thing I remember is waking up in the morning stark naked. My camera wasn't stolen though. No, it was smashed. Probably when it fell off the mantelpiece. I can think of 3 possible explanations. 1, she is irresistibly attracted to me and is making pornographic films of our fucktacular lovemaking. Yeah, I'll reject this theory because it's the stuff of every schoolboy's fantasies and thus highly unlikely. 2, she's being paid by Diva to steal the video from me. This is the most likely theory, and if so, I can look forward to more of the same, as she will be devastated to learn that I've still got it. 3, I can't remember the 3rd reason. Anyway, more about this weird camera stuff later. Well, it happened to me again the other day in Cannes. But back to the check-in without my camera at Heathrow. As you might expect, the vicar had insisted that we arrive several hours early. He was flying Breamore class, of course, and asked to be seated as far away from everyone else as possible, so that I can behave like the pig I am, he said, as if sharing a confidence with a girl who was checking in his bags. I pick my toenails, you know. Gabriel and I, on the other hand, decided to sit together. Have fun in the cheap seats, noisy children, smelly trouser coughing, and appalling food. Other than that, it's fine. Except, of course, that you are squeezed in so tight that you cannot breathe and have to perform amazing acts of athleticism every time you need to siphon the python. I cannot say that I envy you. 16 hours in coach. I would wish it on no one, with the exception of both my former managers and their solicitors. He said this with a smile as he sauntered through the fast-track passport control, leaving us to queue with the rest of the world. Meet me at the Red Carpet Club. I shall introduce you to a style to which you would like to become accustomed. Delight and wonderment. You will be happy boys. Actually, it was something of a miracle that Gabriel and I were going at all, as there'd been no time for Breamore to get us a working visa. The vicar already had one, but Gabriel and I had to go as tourists. If there is one thing I know Punk can do, he assured Breamore, it is lie convincingly. Almost as well as you. After all, he fooled me into giving him a job. And to think that I employed him instead of that boy Ben. That joke, like the previous ones about the naked assistant, was wearing about as thin as an extended foreskin. But it was worth suffering all the vicar's insinuations just to sit on the plane, however full. Free booze and free films. I mean, it's hard work, but someone's got to do it. I bored our waitress by becoming the gazillionth passenger to ask her what it would take to become a member of the Mile High Club, using my carefully prepared Simpsons line. I have this empty spot. I've tried to fill it with family, religion, community service, but those were all dead ends. I think that the Mile High Club's the only answer. But to no avail. What happened to compassion? She assured me that such services were not even available in first class, although it has to be said that the vicar did arrive in Japan looking very refreshed and with a big grin on his face, so you never know. Hello, Vicar-san. It is good to see you again. The promoter had laid on the red carpet treatment at Tokyo Narita Airport. Hello, Tetsu. It is good to see you again. The vicar bowed to the 3 people who'd come to meet us. Are we travelling to Tokyo in your wonderfully lavish limousine? This, from the man who last time we travelled in one had complained that it was more of a political statement than a mode of transport. No, you have arrived in rush hour. We think the train would be better. Ah, so you've reserved the limousine for the Rolling Stones, the vicar teased, noticing that one of them was wearing a Rolling Stones jacket. The Rolling Stones are finished now. Now is Billy G. The train, which arrived punctual to the second at a station directly below the airport, put our privatised mess to shame. Yet, as if it wasn't sufficiently spotless on arrival, we weren't allowed to take our seats until every carriage had been scrubbed, polished and vacuumed, and the swivel seats had been turned around for the return journey. But British trains are better because you can smoke on them, said Tetsu, who smoked, or rather spoke, the best English of the 3. Fortunately, no longer, the vicar said. They only allowed smoking because it covered up the smell of the decaying carcasses of travellers who died waiting for the trains to arrive. Your trains are punctual, so there is no need to allow smoking. I see, said Tetsu, who clearly didn't. I recently met a London taxi driver who had just taken a passenger to catch a 9:30 train. It was nearly 10 o'clock, so the taxi driver had asked him if he would like to catch a different train. No, there's no hurry, the passenger had replied. The train will still be there. I am the engine driver. Such is the state of public services in our beloved motherland. It is good to have you back, Vicar-san, Tetsu smiled. It is sad it will only be brief, and we have much work to do. We will please be needing a production meeting as soon as you arrive at the hotel. I am here to work. My brain is more than a little scrambled, dribblins in extremis, I think the medical term is. Regrettably, even first-class passengers get jet lag, but my body is yours, and my wife tells me it is my best asset anyway. Do with me as you will. Just lead the way and pick up all of the pieces that drop off. More VIP treatment greeted us at the station. Oh, now maybe our minders were used to aging rockers who were too infirm or too sozzled to walk even a few yards unaided. We were met on the platform by the most lavish people van I'd ever seen, with tinted windows and sumptuous interior, and it drove us to within literally inches of the hotel door. Tetsu sat in the front, constantly chattering on his mobile phone. When the Japanese answer the phone, they say mushi mushi, the vicar advised us in his role as tour guide. You will find that saying washing machine in a Japanese accent works perfectly well. Remember to bow politely whenever you are introduced, and they will bow in return. Do not keep bowing, as the senior person will always want to bow last. If you keep going, you will end up like a pair of nodding donkeys. The absurd levels of service continued inside the hotel. We were greeted by numerous porters who felt that we should not carry our own bags, door attendants who felt we should not open our own doors, even lift attendants who felt we should not select our own floor. In fact, there was a lift attendant waiting for us on each floor whose only job seemed to be to bow and tell us what floor we were on before placing his hand against the door in case, as the vicar would put it, the door should have the temerity to try and close automatically while you are halfway in or out. I later discovered that there were even people to turn down your bed and lay out your slippers for you. Gabriel suggested that at a price, there was no doubt someone who would come in and massage you and do other things that you might normally do for yourself. Anyway, personally, I'd have been more comfortable if instead of bowing politely to me, some of the attendants had either been downright rude, like in Britain, or unbearably friendly and chatty, like in the States. Hello, I'm Samantha. I'll be your waitress for the evening. My hobbies are windsurfing and dressing in skimpy clothing. If you have anything I can do for you, just pull on my skirt. Have a nice meal. You know the spiel. Here in Japan, they would simply put their hands together, smile and bow politely, which is exactly what the lift attendants did as we headed to the conference rooms on the first floor. Time for the vicar to tell Breemore and the rest of the crew how he intended to stop anyone sabotaging the concert. Yeah, and if he had a plan, he certainly hadn't shared it with me. That boy's not cool. He's got ears the size of a deer face, broken nose and a twisted face, with a voice that... I suppose it has occurred to you that by broadcasting this concert, if there were to be a case of sabotage, you risk Billy G being held up to ridicule all over Japan. That is why you have received a big fat check, said Breemore. I know what I saw, and that last number was one of the worst performances I've ever had the misfortune to witness. Just because your fans gave her a standing ovation, don't make the facts any prettier.